Good morning, everybody. Hope you're doing well today. It is February the 4th, and I think it's my brother-in-law's birthday. But anyway, good morning. Hope you're doing well today, and life is good. I'll have to check that out. It's right around here somewhere, the 4th or the 5th, something like that. Anyway, I'll have to tell him if you're seeing this, Eric, happy birthday. I know it's right around here. That's terrible. I really kind of know your birthday. But anyway, morning. Hope all is well with you all and life is good and things are moving along. And so I got a question for you. Have you ever found yourself being a little bit afraid to just love fully or commit your life to something because maybe you've been hurt, or maybe it's, you've gotten this thing, and it's just kind of your life is just kind of still reeling. Well, I want to talk to you about that today. That's a big thing, because bold love does not shrink back. And we've been on this whole idea of love and making today count and everything else. And so, yeah, we're going to talk about that. But hey, listen, if I haven't got a chance to meet you, my name is Jay. My wife, Vicki, and I, we lead this amazing church called The Gate, Northwest Indiana, Chicagoland area. Loving what we do and having the time of our lives. And and hopefully you're going to be, hopefully you're having the time of your life too, doing whatever you do. And you do you, boo-boo, as my son would always say when I was around him and stuff. But we come to you every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday like this, just to check things out. Hopefully you're doing good, and to challenge you, encourage you, all that good stuff. But mainly just to let you know you're not alone. We're all doing this together, and whether we're miles apart, countries apart, an ocean apart, or we're right next door, or we see each other every day, whatever the case is, I just want you to know that you're not alone, and we're here just to do all of that together. So this is the thought I had, and I was thinking about this because I've been really camped on this whole idea of bold love. I think a lot of times we look at love as being just kind of like this nice, oh, I love you, and it gets kind of romantic, or it gets, I love you, bro, and we have the bro hugs, and and I love my brothers, that kind of stuff. But there's a kind of love that is really bold and aggressive, and it's violent. And I think the reason why I say that is because in 1 John 4, the 4th chapter and verse 18, it says, there is no fear in love, or love has no fear in it. And perfect love, which I look at as bold love, drives out fear, which literally means it aggressively, violently expels fear. They can't be in the same place together. Love and fear cannot be in the same place together in this idea. And so I was thinking about that, and it came across this quote, and it says there, timid love protects itself. Bold love gives itself away. And I thought about that. I was thinking that's a huge thing, because a lot of times people don't struggle to love, but they struggle about loving without guarding themselves. Like, you got to put these walls up. Good morning, Scott Pitts. Blessings on you. I hope you're having a good day so far. Because if it's early enough, if you're not having a good day so far, it's going to be a long one. Yeah. So anyway, so timid love asks, what will this cost me? And bold love asks, what does obedience require of me? And I think that's an understanding, and it's a mindset. Either you're going to have bold love that will embrace completely, fully. It's kind of what Jesus did in how he loved, when it says there, no greater love has a person shown that he laid his life down for his friend. And he's talking about, Jesus here is saying, man, I'm going to love you so completely, I'm going to die for you. And I think that's probably some of the greatest understandings that we have, especially in our world and understanding in the United States that we're in, is that there is an element of people that literally did lay their life down for people that they would never know or never meet when they fought for peace in the wars that we have. Good morning, Lydia. Blessings on you. Thanks for being here today. So I think that the idea is that this timid love is rooted in fear. It's fear of rejection, loss, or being misunderstood. You hear people that have gone through divorce or they've gone through a major relationship thing. Maybe you've gone through some decisions that you made and you were canceled by some close people, close friends, people that have walked away. I know that even just as a pastor, I've poured my life into many people, and you make one decision or you make one statement they don't like, and boom, they're just gone. They're out. And sometimes they're out a little rather violently. And you got a choice to make right then. You got a choice to either get bitter and decide, forget it. I'm not going to do that. And what happens with that is the reason it is because we're afraid. We're afraid that somebody's going to jump ship again, or we're afraid we're going to lose something of ourselves. Or maybe that we're going to be misunderstood, and no matter how much we try to make it right, it just never will be with certain individuals. And then, so then what we do is we just kind of put that all into a whole group think. And it's the woman that has been, cheated on by her husband or whatever, like, forget it. I don't need a man. I can do this all on my own. Or the man that has been just dumped and everything else. He goes like, I forget it. I don't need a woman. I don't need to be married. I can just do this. I don't need that ultimate till death do us part covenant, commitment, whatever you want to call it. I'm done. And what happens with that then is that the fear doesn't protect us. It limits us. It limits our hearts to open up again and simply say, I am going to love again. I am going to love fully again. I'm going to love completely again. And I'm going to go in and embrace those around us. It's Jesus sitting there knowing he's going to the cross with the closest that he had into him is Peter, and had denied him. And he saw that. He was there when he denied him. After all that he had done, and he still went to the cross, and he still says, forgive them, Father. It's that no limit love that John 15:13 says is greater love has no man than this, that to lay down one's life for one's friends. Not just a brother, not just a family member, not that, well, that's my blood, type of thing. It's a friend. It's a friend. I think that many, and I've been doing a little bit of study on this, is that friendship has a greater power to it than even blood. And there's I've got a whole thing on that I don't want to get into that discussion, or we'll be here until 7:00 tonight. But bold love gives us time, and it gives us freedom. It gives us forgiveness. It gives us compassion. It gives sacrifice. It doesn't cling. It releases. Bold love is strong enough within itself. When you have bold love inside of you, that perfect love that 1 John 4:18 says that it literally gives you the ability to release and let people breathe and not just consume, or it gives that release to run toward that relationship, to run toward that friend. And I believe that bold love actually begins to give you that ability to truly covenant with God, because he is bold love. It says there in 1 John 4:7-8 that for love is of God, for everybody that loveth is born of God and knows God. He that loveth not knoweth not God, for God is love. Period. God is love, so therefore God defines love. Love does not define what God is. God defines what love is and what it looks like. In Matthew, the 16th chapter, Jesus said, for whoever wants to save their life will lose it, but whoever loses their life for me will find it. Now, this is not something that we just do willy-nilly. This isn't the kind of thing that we confuse wisdom with self-protection, and that we say, oh, we're going to do that. No. But the same thing is we're not losing our life for our own self-preservation or losing our life for all the other things. It says there, but he who loses his life for my sake will find it. For Christ's sake will find it. If you are going through there, bold love is not reckless, but it is faith-filled. Bold love is not a place where you're just going to go out and just, okay, I fly in and I go after it. I remember when my son was getting ready and getting serious about wanting to be married. He was praying, he was fasted for the right woman to come along. And we had this thing there that we had taken him out to a really nice steak joint when he was younger. And he goes, man, I would love to do a rehearsal dinner here. And I said, okay, done. I'll do that. I'll pay for the steak place. And it's one of the top steak places. It was going to be a chunk of change. But I said, but here's the deal. I'll pay for it, but you need to tell me 1 year before you're going to get married. And it wasn't so that I could just save up, which I needed to do. And it wasn't because I wanted to do that. I wanted to make sure that it wasn't just a fly-by-night covenant that he was getting ready to make, or a commitment like, oh, Dad, I found this woman. She's awesome. How long you known her? A week and a half, and she loves me and I love her. And it wasn't that. It was this, I wanted there to be that time of commitment. And sure enough, man, he told me, and it was on Easter of 1 year. We were just kind of talking. And we were talking about something, and he goes, I'm letting you know, I'm going to ask her. And I went, oh, okay. And he goes, so you know what our deal is? And I'm like, yep. So you've got 1 year from today. And he ended up marrying one of the greatest ladies I know, Carly, at that time, Funston, but it was Carly Calaway now, and they're doing incredible. And the covenant that happened in that was gone through trusting God enough to give without guarantees, that it was just there and they were walking that through. And I think that the ultimate idea on this is that the cross is the ultimate picture of giving love away, isn't it? Don't you think that it's the most amazing, amazing thing? I know for me, I always said, we opened up this whole sermon, we opened up this whole year with the idea of the shape of boldness, the shape of bold, and it's the cross. And Philippians 2, 5 and 8 says, Jesus emptied himself, becoming obedient to death, even death on a cross. And the reason it says even death on a cross is because that was considered the most humiliating, heinous, horrible, painful death that anybody could have ever put on someone else. It wasn't just he was obedient to death, like, okay, I'm going to do this, and when I die, I'm going to go out obedient. No, he goes, even death on a cross, meaning Jesus didn't hold back love to preserve himself. He gave himself a way to redeem every one of us. And I think that's the thing that we need to remember, is bold love always leaves something behind for the sake of someone else. When I married Vicky, when I gave my life to Christ, when I did these big, bold moves in my life, when I moved to where I'm at here, and I said, you know what, I'm all in, and realizing that I'm going to covenant myself to even a region, an area, and this is what I've done for for almost a generation, and we've just passed 37 years of being here. Had no idea that was going to happen, but I had to make a commitment at one point, and I'm going to go all in. It does not matter. Good morning, Adam. Blessings on you, man. It does not matter who turns their back on. You know, Jesus, the very night he gave up his life, he was betrayed and he was denied by two of his closest, Judas and Peter. And I think that when we realize that, the only way for us to make today count today is asking the question, where have you been protecting yourself instead of loving boldly? Because Galatians 5:13 says, serve one another humbly in love. So we're going to make today count today. The only way to make today count is to found it on bold love. By giving forgiveness you've been withholding. Serve where it costs you. And love without needing something in return. And no matter what you realize in there's going to be some things you're going to lose. But chances are, I'm going to tell you this right now, when you truly love boldly, the things that you're losing needed to be stripped away anyway. Because you truly become in the identity of Christ and not the identity on self-preservation. Boom. That's what I got for you today, okay? So go out there, love boldly, man. Go and just begin to love to the level that that God did. And give forgiveness where you've been withholding it. Serve where it costs you, and sometimes serve where it costs you everything. And then love without needing something in return. You're going to go do that, okay? So if you're going to make today count, timid love builds walls, but bold love builds lives. So let's go out there and do that. Okay, let me pray for you. Share this post. Go encourage someone today. Take this out there and do something with it. Don't just sit on it, but go and just share the post with somebody. Hey, I think this can help you. Or just take the principles and go live them and teach them to somebody else. All right, let me pray for you. Heavenly Father, I thank you so much for you are the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. I ask you be given glory in all of these things, and that as we go forward in this, Lord, we would love boldly, where there would be bold love in us, that we would be willing to lay it all down for those around us. I thank you for this in Jesus' name. Amen. Blessings on you guys. And listen, don't forget, make today count, because you're better than yesterday, but not near as good as tomorrow. All right. Have a great day.